Mr. Pennypacker. We are live.
We're live. Let's do this.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
You're all outside, chilled out?
I am. It's the only place that I don't have children. It's too hot outside for them, so I'm sitting here sweating so I can have some peace.
How many kids do you have?
I've got 3.
I forgot that. And how old are they?
They're as of yesterday, I have a 3, a 4, and a 3, 4, and a 6-year-old.
3, 4, and a 6-year-old.
Let's see.
Take it. There you go.
I don't know if you can see. Look.
Yeah.
There's just a bunch of attitude in that house.
Man, you are surrounded by attitude, my friend.
That's right. I love it every single day.
Yeah, you stay in good shape now till they all turn 16 to 18. You're gonna have to fend off some people.
Oh, you know it, man. I hit the gym right here in my garage at 5:27 every morning.
Oh, you're a morning workout guy.
Didn't used to be. It's the only way I can get after it without children being, all just there. Keep the wife happy.
Have you found though that I know you work out in the mornings because it's best for you, right? Time wise, but have you found that you work out better at night than in the morning, or has your body adapted?
No, I used to work out really well in the afternoon because your body's all warm. But since my garage has no heat, actually I use a furnace kind of thing in the winter, but in the summer, since it's already 70 degrees in the morning, I found it to be pretty, get a pretty good workout because I'm warmed up. Used to be if I don't get warmed up, I'm pretty much going to get hurt. Something's going to get pulled.
You're younger than me too. It gets worse as you get older, dude.
I know. I just look younger.
Yeah,
I have all my hair. See, look, it's great. It's gonna be.
I've got all my hair. It just went from here to my ears and my nose. And
don't you hate that? I mean, the things coming out of your nose these days, and I can pull like 3-inch hairs off my ears every once in a while.
It hurts your brain when you do it too. Hey, so let's tell everybody this. You and your wife own Sweet and Savory Classroom.
Yeah, we sure do.
Here's what I think is a cool story. Why is it called Sweet and Savory?
So that's a good one. This is the funny story because it took us, I don't know, like months and months and months and months to come up with a name. I used to write names on sheet of paper, like in a column, like down one side, just dots with one name, and then down, I'd make 4, 5, 6 columns. Like, what should we call this business? Flip it over, And one day we're driving to Atlanta to see my brother, and I was like, hey, we're just going through names, and she's tired of it. She's tired of hearing about names, and I was like, well, I just don't get it. I mean, like, you've been a pastry chef, your whole life, and I've been, on the savory side of things, our whole life. And then all of a sudden, it's like, well, she's sweet and I'm savory, so the Sweet and Savory Classroom was born. But it took us we went through every other name known to man, because you do a name, and then you Google it. Can I get that domain? Dang it, that one's gone. And you just got to keep going through it. So
when you try to use it in different ways too, you think, okay, how's that going to look on business cards, on signs? How's it going to look on a flyer when you say it? It's just, you start playing with it.
It's super long. It's like Sweet and Savory Classroom. Everyone hates how long it is.
Yeah. But once you said it though, once you heard it out loud, you knew that was it, didn't you?
It was the aha moment. It was there.
That's funny. How long you been in Chattanooga?
Just over 5 years.
And you came from Carolina?
Asheville, North Carolina.
Oh, we've got somebody tuning in. They're over at Chattanooga. So a lot of people may have been to your place. So you came from Carolina, and a lot of people may have come down to your classroom in the last 5 years and not understand it. Did you have this type of business in Carolinas too, or did that just start here?
Well, I did work for a guy for about a year and a half that had a very small version of what we've got going on. He had really a bakery. That 90% of his building and his business was a bakery and a market. He made a lot of great, breads and pastries, and they did some carry out food. And then he had this tiny little room that he did cooking classes in. And I had started a ministry for fatherless boys. I'd cooked and I left the kitchen for a while. And during that time, I started this ministry, and the ministry, it went well, and then it crashed and burned. I'm not gonna lie, it crashed and burned. And I was looking for a job, so I ended up back in the kitchen, and eventually took over the classroom. My wife and I took over his cooking classroom, and said, we really like this. We've been cooking most of our lives, so we're gonna go somewhere and open this as our main business.
And how did you just spin the globe and pick Chattanooga? Was it?
I mean, kind of. We sold everything bought a motorhome, had this like 36-foot motorhome, put my man van over here. You see my man van right there? See the minivan right there?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, yeah, that's my man van. We put that thing on the back.
That's the auto version of a man purse. What's the fanny pack?
The Merce?
The fanny pack, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's my man van. I mean, we towed that thing all across the country. And when we got to Chattanooga, we just never left.
That's a good story, though.
Yeah, I mean, we visited. We liked Chattanooga. We visited before. We had but we liked Flagstaff, Arizona, Austin, Texas, and we just kind of like drove all around and but once we got here, I think that was for me. That was for me a God thing. God was like, "You're staying here," because I didn't want to. But
you didn't want to?
No, the first couple weeks, all I wanted to do was leave, but for some reason we just couldn't. We just couldn't pick up the, I always say we couldn't put the jacks up. Had those hydraulic jacks holding the RV up.
Yeah.
We just couldn't pull the jacks up and drive away.
Did you find Chattanooga was business friendly when you got here? Because I know starting your own business is challenging in a town you live in and know all your connections. Yeah. You come to a new town.
It was very friendly.
Good.
We were living in the RV when we found our location and started building out the location. Now it was difficult. I mean, I say the city was great to work with, but it was still, you jump into the hoops of codes and, and then contractors and all that kind of stuff. And so, but it was very, very friendly. Moving in.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about setting it up, because I'm going to try to keep this relatively short, because I know you've got kids that eventually they'll find you, dude. And this is going to get totally interrupted. Yeah.
And they love mommy way more than me. They're in there with her now.
So you built it as a classroom to teach, and I've brought my daughter down there a couple of times, and that's exactly what you do. You teach people, and you have different themes. Give everybody two things: is kind of a quick snapshot of what you did, and now what you're doing because of COVID.
What we did, and I can actually say what we did and what we're doing, because we opened back up for in person. Is you basically you come down to the classroom. You pick a menu from a website that you like. We have 100-something different classes we teach, and you pick one that's on our calendar. You come down to the classroom. We give you an apron, and we send you to a station, and we just teach. So we teach you how to cut and chop and saute, flambe, whatever it takes to kind of get the food ready. I'll do some live demonstrations, but everything for us is hands-on. Like you're going to do the work. If you don't cook, you don't eat in our classroom. And so we have these big butcher block tables that people stand at, and it's social. People love talking to each other. Yeah. So you're going to meet other people. You're going to get social. You're going to get some really great skills that you can learn and then take home with you and use them over and over. So you learn recipes, but you also learn like skills forever. And that's what we've been doing, is in-person classes before, when we shut down for a little bit, and now we're back open doing in-person classes. But then because of COVID, we started virtual. I mean, we shut down one day, and then like Friday was our last night, I think. I was kicking and screaming on that one. And then, it was terrible. And then
this is back in March or April, right?
Back in March, yeah. By the next Saturday, I think, we were live with our first virtual class.
Well, and that's still going on. People can still, okay. And just drop this in here. It's sweetandsavoryclassroom.com, right?
Correct. Sweetandsavoryclassroom.com. And I want to drop this in here. The virtual classes, going into it, I thought they were going to be terrible. I'm like, who would really want to learn online? But I'll tell you what, it has been the best experience, because people absolutely love it. And they love it because in the classroom, you do pieces of the menu, then you do kind of like everything. We have this way of getting it all done. But when you're doing it at home, you touch everything, you do everything, and you get to do it in your home kitchen, mastering your pots and pans, your sink, your stove. And so the people tell me, like, this is amazing because I get to master my home kitchen like I've never done before.
Well, there's a sense of like familiarity there too. It's a little sense of, I'm a lot more comfortable. I can actually probably focus more on what you're saying, because I know where my measuring cups are, and I know where everything's at, and there's probably a little sense of a little more comfort level there.
You know, people say sometimes that you go somewhere and you go somewhere and you do something and you're like, well, I can never recreate this at home.
Yeah.
Well, now we can show you how to do that at home, and it's just that conquering, because we get people to share their video, just like we're doing here. We got video up, like people, I remember the first time we did souffles. It was like our second class. And I said, hey, anyone want to share their video feed to show me their souffles? Next thing you know, 30, 20, 30, 40 people are like, their videos, they're turning on their video and they're like, here's my souffles. And like, people got measuring tapes out to like, I should share a picture of like measuring tapes out to show me like how much their souffle like came out of the dish. I mean, everyone was so proud of all their own work. It was great.
Well, and two, I think it goes back to a time, and I know we still do it now, but not near as much. But I can't remember who I was talking with the other day. It was Karen McMahon. We were talking about family time around the dinner table. When I grew up, a lot of families had time around the dinner table, which kind of started in the kitchen, right? Everybody's hanging out around the kitchen. Mom or dad's in there helping, and the kids are setting the table. And so much of our life now, and we design houses differently than we used to. Now the kitchen has a lot of kitchens have the bar with the stools. It meshes into the living room so we can all talk, and that's where the family gathers during holidays. And so the kitchen, learning how to navigate that in a comfortable way and learning it down at the classroom, that's what me and my daughter, when we came down there, you're getting to know other people. It's kind of natural.
Yeah, it's so funny you say that because I've got this 1930s home here that we renovated, and you can see like all the doorways used to have every doorway had a door on it at some point. So like the dining room was closed off. There was 2 doors between the dining room and the kitchen. Like the kitchen was like a box, we had to like open up the doorway and stuff. But you're right, that's the way it used to be. And now it's a social place. It's where we come to like you cook and hang out at the same time.
It used to be your living room and the dining room, and now it's the kitchen and really merges right into the dining room.
Yeah.
They're all kind of one big room.
Yep.
And so, that's true. Now you would be proud. My daughter now, she posts a couple of times a month of the food she cooks. She is, I think she'll end up going, that might be, even if she doesn't do it for a living, she loves the kitchen. She's going to be a cook.
How old is she now?
16.
She can come work with us if she wants to.
Oh, don't even, man.
We have the kitchen assistant program. She can help assist with classes.
Okay, I'm not kidding you right now. This may be God letting us have this, because kitchen assistant, she would love that, because she's coming up with her own recipes. She's talking to people like this. They'll go, how'd you make that? She made soup the other night for the first time. And then her brother ate it and her mom ate it. And then they're all like, you got to give us this recipe. She goes, it's a pinch of this and a dash. So I'd have to go back and reconstruct it. And I'm like, she's talking like a chef, man.
That's great. Send her my way.
I'm going to 100% do that. You guys have themes, and you said menus. Is there, and I know your wife is the sweet side of it, and you don't have to answer for her. That's always dangerous. But on your side of it, are there certain themes or menus that you prefer, that you personally like to teach?
Honestly, I get that question a lot. And for me, teaching is what I enjoy the most, teaching and connecting with the people. So I like every menu. I like certain pieces of it. So menus with a dough in it, I love like working with the dough. That's really fun. And menus where we saute, one of my favorites is like New Orleans, because we learn like culinary school in a pot, because there's so many things you can learn, but from searing to the Maillard reaction to tempering and roux. There's so many cool things you can learn. And so for me, I tend to pick out certain parts of each menu that I like the most. But ones that have a really great flow are my favorite to teach, like New Orleans or French bistro. Those have a great. But then Peruvian class, probably one of the best menus we have. I mean, the green sauce. The green sauce, you just want to drink it. You want to pour it on everything at your house. You take it home. It goes on your eggs. It goes on your lettuce. It goes on anything, man. Green sauce. You'll know what I'm talking about after you come there. So.
Can you see that? Good to see you, Jeff Pennypacker.
Yeah, how are you?
There we go. Thank you for tuning in. All right, so I've got some questions I'm going to ask you, but you said something pretty interesting about business, and we won't spend a ton of time on it because I love the business component, but this is more for the cooking side of things, and I've got we're going to get a few tips from Jeff here in just a second.
Let's do it.
But I want you to, because I think people may need to hear this, the lessons from COVID-19. Things have changed for a lot of people. whether you own a business, you work in a business, you don't own a business, it doesn't matter. Life has changed for a lot of us. But you had a post called "Fight for It." Explain that post to people, because somebody may hear that and may get a little spark from it.
Yeah, so I haven't finished writing it here, but here, let me see if I can. I mean, let me see if I can just pull this up right here. Basically, I was just thinking. I went going these tangents in my head, and when people ask me, like, a lot of times people can ask me, like, what did you do? Because you seem to do a really good job pivoting during this time. And I was like, I just do what I do. Like, as soon as I hit a wall, I'm either gonna go through it or around it or over it. I'm gonna find some way to get past it, because like, I will not fail to some degree. Like, I just won't do it. And so one lady asked me, she's like, what have you done to pivot? And I'm like, she's like, I admire you for how you pivoted. I'm like, I don't know, I didn't pivot. I just fight for it. I mean, like, I built this business, and there's just no way I'm going down. I mean, I'll go down kicking and screaming all the way. So during COVID, my wife and I worked twice as much for a quarter of the pay. We tried things. I mean, we were making meals, like carry out meals, and I always told people, if I have to start like cooking food like in large quantities again, that's the end of me, because I don't like it. I mean, I love teaching people and being with people, but having to like mass produce food like I used to in the commercial kitchens, it's not what I like. And we had to do that. I mean, we were literally like, we had like stuffing food in our refrigerators at the classroom just to close the door so we could, so we can make $100, so we can make $200 to pay this bill, pay that bill. And then just so basically it might become a blog post called "Fight for It." I mean, the things that we did just to make it happen, and we lived off of certain principles. Let's see if I can find them down here. Let's see. Well,
it's okay. No, I'll put you on the spot.
Yeah, you did, because that's okay. I love it. But we just spent all of our time thinking about, like, what could we do? How can we serve our people? What do you think they would like? And then we just had to keep doing something. Like, every day we were just doing something. And the more we did, we found, like, that didn't work. This works. People really like this menu. Let's do that carry out menu again. Let's try this virtual thing. I was online for hours. Like, how do we go virtual? Like, I had no idea. Like, how do we go virtual? And I was looking at all these things. Like, these things only make sense to me. I cook. I don't understand technology. And I was like, I didn't understand it. And I had one guy trying to get me to spend like $1,000 on this camera equipment. I'm like, I'm not gonna spend $1,000 if I don't know, like, if this is gonna work or not. Like, yeah. So I had a buddy text me. I was like, have you tried Zoom? I was like, I haven't even heard of Zoom. So I got on Zoom, and next thing you know,
everybody's heard of Zoom now.
Everybody's heard of Zoom, and we launched with my laptop computer. Actually, she died. I had her since 2009. She died recently, and I had to get a new one. But I had a laptop computer and my cell phone on a tripod, and you can see the legs in the tripod the whole time we're doing class. Like, so I have my cell phone as the camera pointing down, so you can see my cutting board, and this one's my face camera, and we were live, in a week doing virtual, and it just making it happen. I mean, but too many people went home. Too many people went home with their tail between their legs, like, oh, poor pitiful me. And I was like, no way.
I think one of the things that I've enjoyed, you try to find little glimmers of light where you can, is that the entrepreneurial spirit gets stoked every now and then, especially if you've had a little bit of success. This kind of stuff happens. And what happens is business owners start looking at their business like it's brand new again. Well, what works? Where are we making the money? Where are we not making the money? I'll work 15 hours.
The business ended. It was brand new. Brand new in about 5 minutes.
There you go. Guess what? As of tomorrow, you own a different business.
That's right.
Same overhead, just different business. Yep. That's funny.
Yeah, but you're right. Yeah, I mean, entrepreneurs, that's what we do. I mean,
that's the heart of it.
Creators, and but there's this tenacity that you got to have, and I don't like to see people wallow. And I'm not gonna lie, my wife and I, we were mad. I cried. I mean, there was a time when I cried, but that lasted about 30 seconds, and then I was like, okay, what's next? What are we doing?
Well, and I think a lot of people had to adapt that attitude. If they didn't, like you said, they spent a lot of time staring at the wall and not figuring out how to get around the wall.
Yeah, and it's rough. It was rough, but
let's do this. Let's change it up because you said some people were going to be surprised by some of these answers. I had this conversation with somebody earlier about comfort food, and we were just talking about everybody's got a different comfort food, and it could be based off geography, where where you raised, or your culture, what your mom made you, or what you had to make yourself. What is do you have a comfort food that you started turning to, especially when things went rough? What's a comfort food?
Well, I definitely love sweets. That's why I married a pastry chef. And so, when I'm feeling a little low, there ain't nothing better than some Oreos and milk. There ain't nothing better than that.
That's the lamest chef answer of all time.
I mean, or it could be spoonfuls of peanut butter. But growing up, my mom, that's when she was feeling low, we just sit around and eat Oreos. And
have you had the vanilla Oreos?
I've had the vanilla.
Oh,
I've had double stuff. The regular mint. But just regular old Oreos. Now, and my wife isn't allowed to buy them because I'll be as big as a horse.
Vanilla Oreos are my downfall. So what's the favorite thing that your wife makes for you that you like your pastry? Because when you say pastry chef, I think of everything sweet, of course. Can she make a good banana? Can she make a good banana pudding?
Oh, sure. She can make, anything in dessert world she can make. Plus breads and pastries. And honestly, I used to be bigger at one point in my life, and I made a conscious choice. I'm not going to be that. I'm going to be healthy for the rest of my life.
Right.
And so, she's not allowed to bring a lot home. She makes things at the classroom, and she knows give 90% away, take 10% home to share with the kids and my husband.
Well, what's the one thing she brings home that you get as a treat that you're like, I hope it's that. I hope she brings home that.
Ooh.
There's got to be one or two.
Coffee cake. When she makes that coffee cake, that stuff is the jam. Yeah. Coffee cake is rocking.
Well, I told you I was going to ask you this question, and you were like, I don't really have an answer. And I think I may actually have a better answer than the chef on this one, but we're talking about gadgets.
Yeah, so you asked me what is it? What's it a great gadget?
Yeah.
And I was gonna be I was gonna hopefully not destroy this question because I'm not really a big gadget person. Let me tell you why. Okay, so when I first started learning to cook and do things, I had one of my mentors, my first executive chef, Steven Adams. He's the guy. No matter where I go, if I see him, his name is Chef. He's the only one that's chef. That's what I'm gonna call. And he taught me principles like the chef's knife. If you can master the chef's knife, you can do anything you want in the kitchen. And he taught me how to carve ice too. I used to do ice carving for a living. And he said, if you can master the chainsaw, you can do any ice carving. If you have a chainsaw, and most carvers have 100 other tools, right? Or you have a chef's knife, and a lot of other people have all these other knives and gadgets and different things. But he's master the chef's knife, you can do anything you want in the kitchen. And so I've kind of operated like that. I master the chef knife. So give me a chef's knife, a cast iron pan, a wooden spoon, and the storms are coming.
Yeah.
I got to put this down and start making my way in while we're talking.
That's okay.
But so I don't have a ton of gadgets.
Well, while you're putting that down, I'll answer mine.
Okay.
So here's the one thing that I have learned do not skimp on it. Spend the money and get a good one, because I have bought cheap ones many times, and that is a can opener.
Oh,
the hand-operated can. The $1.99 hand-operated can will be your demise every single time.
I got something for you while the rain is coming. Okay.
Okay.
It is an IKEA peeler. The best peeler you will ever use in your life is from IKEA.
Oh, really?
So get you one of those. You will not be sorry.
Do you want to go inside and click back in and come back, or are you going to have to jump off?
I'm good. Just go ahead and answer. My wife's coming out here to help me. She's amazing. She's grabbing the blanket. She's grabbing the kids' snacks. I'm almost packed up. This is my office right here.
Oh, that's oh yeah. Well, let me ask you this. I was going to ask you for some cooking tips. Can you give us some cooking tips if I ask?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, you said that you had a killer cooking tip for steaks.
Yes. Okay. So mine is, you got to get a piece of meat. It's hard with a piece of beef tenderloin because tenderloin doesn't usually come with a lot of fat, like extra fat on it.
Right.
But like a New York strip, if you get a New York strip, then it has some hard fat on the outside of it. Cut that piece of hard fat off, and then when you start, I like to sear mine in a skillet. So you want to sear, I like to sear mine in a flat skillet to get brown all across the whole thing. I don't grill my steaks.
Really?
Yeah. Grilling only gives you the crusty sear right where the grill marks are. I like it, all the meat touching the pan, really hot pan, and getting that nice crisp brown across the whole thing. And so what I do to grease the pan is take that hard piece of fat from the New York strip, like you can cut a little piece off the outside or something, and put that in the pan and let that melt in the pan. And that is your cooking fat.
So you sear it on both sides, and then do you put it in the oven? How do you finish the steak, or do you just eat it? Are you a rare guy?
I'm probably more medium, mid-rare or medium guy. So by the time you sear it on both sides, it should be done.
Golly, okay, well, I'm gonna try that because I love good steak. Yeah. I thought you were gonna go with a grill.
Again, you gotta take that hard piece of fat. You gotta take that hard piece of fat, and you put it in the pan first, and just like let it melt in, and so that it gets like the bottom of your pan just gets greasy, and then you turn the heat up even more and get it hot, really nice and hot, so you can put your steak in there and sear it. It's gonna smoke out your house,
but it'll taste great.
It's gonna taste great. I'm not responsible.
What kind of sauce are you a sauce guy on a steak? Are you ketchup? Or you just eat it with the natural flavors?
Ketchup. Are you serious? Is that a real question? Come on. Next thing you'll get asked about if mayonnaise should be smeared on it, I'll kill you.
Mayonnaise is for communists. Watch it.
Yeah, I'm not a mayonnaise fan, so I have no commie over here.
But are you a sauce guy?
I had a guy say something to me in classroom that kind of changed my life. I'll tell you this. So he said, I like sauces, but he said, it was a couple years ago. He came through. He's like, I've traveled all across the globe, just like eating. And he said, I love food. So wherever I go, I try to eat something. He said, what makes everything different is the sauces. He's like, sauces are what make a meal. And I really thought about that. I was like, he's so right. Sauces make a meal. Like I told you earlier about the green sauce.
Yeah.
Like everything else we do in that class is okay, but the green sauce is like the champion. And so if you really make like a nice demi-glace for a steak, it's amazing. Reduce red wine and beef stock, and do the real deal, some mirepoix, and it takes time. It takes a lot of time to make a good demi, but it's worth it.
All right. Well, I've got just we're gonna play this quick game, and I'm gonna let you go. It's Would You Rather. Cool. You ready for this? It's right up your alley.
No, let's do it.
Would you rather, if you could only have one for the rest of your life, pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Even though waffles have those little squares that capture the butter and the syrup, man.
I like pancakes. Because we're gonna stuff them full of blueberries or chocolate chips. That's why.
Well, there's a caveat there. I like that. If you can only have one the rest of your life, tater tots, onion rings, or French fries?
Onion rings.
Ooh, okay. And then this is the last question. I'm going to let you go have family time. You can settle a debate for me. I asked this on my Facebook page, and I think I had 100 responses and started a bunch of fights.
Okay.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No, it's its own thing. It's a hot dog.
Listen, I'm just telling you, you just ticked off 50% of the people.
That's just fine. They can be mad. They can be wrong and be mad at the same time. That's fine.
I feel like we're talking about politics now.
Might be.
All right, dude. Listen, I appreciate you being flexible enough to endure the oncoming storm. Let's tell everybody, it's at the bottom of the screen here, but if you're wanting to enroll in a virtual classroom or come down to the classroom that's reopened, you got some. Do y'all sell swag too? Do you sell aprons and stuff like that?
Yeah, we sell aprons. We sell aprons. We have lodge stuff. Like we're a big cast iron and lodge fan. I mean, they home and at the classroom. We love some cast iron. So
yeah,
some of that.
My mom just texted iron skillet. She was talking about your steak. So she uses the iron skillet.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's your mom that's on. Oh, I got
yeah.
Your mom's.
Oh, she loves coming down to your place.
Checking on you. She's on.
She's the chef in our family, dude. But you can go to the sweetandsavoryclassroom.com and you can find out about all their different classes, schedule, take advantage of it. And maybe in the next couple of weeks, we'll get you back on. And when we start getting into the fall and see what you got going on then.
That sounds wonderful, man. It's great. Clinton, good to see you again. Thanks for having me on.
Always good seeing you, buddy.
Yeah, you
Go
too.
have fun with that family. See you, man.
You know it, man. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.